Hi guys, today we're gonna do the electrical wiring for your Voron. So the first thing we're gonna do is go ahead and connect all the wires through the chain link here, all the way back up to the bottom of the printer. So grab all of the cables that came with your kit, if it came with it. My FormBot comes with all labeled kits. No wire, sorry. There is a fan 0, fan 1. There's a heater tube. It's a Hotend. There is a XY stop. You'll need this also. Fan 0, 1. Extra fan cable. This is for the bottom of the printer, so I'm not gonna use it for right now. There's a thermistor cable. It's white. And also your probe. It says PL05. I think that's all the cables you need for right now. Like I said in previous step, you'll have to undo this to really access this. So I'm just gonna undo this guy real quick. And you're gonna have to undo all of these things. So just take them out. Just go ahead and unclip them. Alright, I'm gonna go ahead and connect fan 0. I didn't label these, but later on we can go ahead and turn the fan on and know which one's which. It's easy to switch later. We can figure out which ones. So I'm just gonna connect one of the fans to one of them here. Right. I'm gonna go ahead and route the wire through. Here. And through the chain. Now later, if you want to work on your printer, you may want to have a little bit of extra slack. So I'm going to actually leave a little bit of slack. That way, when I pull the fan out, I still have a little bit of wire hanging out. Okay, connect the second fan, fan 1. Next, let's connect the thermistor. Okay, thermistor wire here, the white one. I'm an idiot. Sorry, the fan's over here. I connected it to the hot end. Don't make that mistake. The big red wire is for your hot end. It's early here, like 5 a.m. I'm still trying to wake up, obviously. Don't make that mistake. You'll also need the wires for the extruder motor. Alright, connect the thermistor. Next, I'm going to go ahead and connect the hot end. It says heater tube on here. Okay, I've got all the wires. I've got 2 fans. Okay, one more. There's a diode built in for the latest FormBot kit. Last time it had a... I just connected directly to the probe port, but I guess this time it's a little different. Okay, let's connect the probe. Right, you should have the hot end, 2 fans, thermistor, and the probe. My XY stop has one end here, and it's already pre-cabled to have X and Y. So we're done here. The XY end stop will go. There's a wire connector here. We'll start here, so we don't have to connect it here. We're all done here for all the wires we need for here. And we're just gonna go ahead and give it enough room. Right, maybe put the wire cover back on. Maybe something like this. The wire cover is gonna go right over like this. You also need to connect the extruder motor wire for the extruder, otherwise you're not gonna be able to extrude. Alright, you should have the extruder motor, the probe, the hot end, 2 fans, and the thermistor. Go ahead and get it sort of aligned here. Right, and you're gonna have the motor cover over. Sorry, wire cover over. Motors! And make sure everything fits inside. Alright, I'm gonna actually screw the motor cover on now. Alright, all the wires in. I don't really like this particular part because the wires come out from sort of the top here, but it's fine. Just go ahead and route your wires So they're even. And I'm just gonna go ahead and put these into the beginning of the chain link here. Maybe I'll zip tie it real quick, just at the end over here. Okay, I'm gonna go ahead and lock the first clip here. The second clip. And just go ahead and go through the motions here. Okay, I'm gonna go ahead and reroute the wires back to the side of the printer. There's just a bunch of wires. I'm gonna throw it to the side over here. And you'll notice that this particular end over here, I gotta undo the clip. I'm gonna have to undo this last guy here in order to make it fit through. Okay, and I'm gonna get it wires in through and then connect it like that. There we go. And I'm gonna zip it up. So I have all of this wire that's coming. Send it to the side over here. Okay, this is done. Go ahead and put the screw back in here you had earlier. Alright, I'm gonna go ahead and put my hammer nut. You can use a T-nut, hammer nut. That's all up to you. Okay, go ahead and test it out real quick. They look fine. Next you're gonna go ahead and route the wires to the right here. Let me go ahead and move the printer a little bit. I'm gonna go ahead and route all of these wires through here. It's the same thing, but it might be easier to undo this. So let's go ahead and undo this. Unclip. Go ahead and grab all your clunk of wires, and now you're going to go through here. And I might just add a zip tie just at the end here. Let's keep it sort of nice. Gonna route the wires through here and up through here. So give it enough room. Let me zip tie right here. I want to sort of get it in there. At this point, don't forget your end stop. This is where your end stop's gonna connect. So I'm gonna go ahead and connect the end stop wire to the XY end stop PCB here. If you're using, snap that in there. And this wire is going to route through here. If you look carefully, there's like a snipe you can get the wires through. So let me actually just go in and get the end stop wire through this whole little hole. Give it a little slack. Okay, that should be fine. And then I'm gonna go ahead and route all these wires through here and zip tie them maybe right here together. And carefully place it inside the chain. Give it a little slack. You may need to push it out a little bit, give it a little slack. Not holding in place, I'm gonna put a zip tie here real quick. I don't think I need this anymore. Okay, get the wires through the chain link, clear them up. Okay, I'm gonna get it through the bottom. You may have to take this out and then redo this, and then go ahead, insert from the bottom, and then connect it back over here. And there, we're almost done here. I'm going to go ahead and put that screw back in there. Start speaking British. British? Why? I don't know. Okay, that's nicely in there. Go ahead and push it back and forth. Make sure the wires are not too tight. In my configuration, they're pretty loose, not too much to kink, and we'll continue this big bob of wires. Bob of wires. Hi guys, so for this part, there's actually zip tie holes that you can use. So I'm actually just using those holes instead. Oops. So use these zip tie holes to zip tie these. My bird. There's an easier way. Oh wait. And this will keep your wires nicely in there. Still slightly loose. Loose like a goose. Loose like a goose. Okay, next up we're gonna go ahead and route this wires. There's a wire holder thingy here. That'll fit right over. It's gonna go through here, go into the wire, and then to this last zip chain. Zip chain. Zip chain. Alright, we'll just call it zip chains. Okay, trying to get these wires through is a hassle, sort of a hassle. You might want to just tie up this end of it. I'm just gonna zip tie it real quick so they don't get all everywhere. I'm just gonna sort of zip tie this end here because it's just a big giant mess. Otherwise it's gonna be hard. I can just remove this later if I want to. So let me go ahead and grab this whole bunch of wires in between, snag it through there, snog it, not chug it, snug it, snog it, snog it. Have it go down here. You just lay it across the printer, somewhat, and have it go down here like that. I probably want to have it go like that, something like that. And you're gonna just get this thing over, and I think it's an M3x8, and just screw it in there. That's pretty much it. Make sure no wires are kinked. Make sure they're nice in there. Is there zip ties? Make sure the wires are not touching the belt. Alright, give it a room like that, just like that. And I'm just gonna zip tie this end here so it's the wire stays sort of together. I might actually add in a thermistor right here. I'm gonna add a thermistor. It's just a cheap thermistor I bought. This will be measuring the enclosure temperature, so I'm gonna have it hiding inside this mess of wires. You don't have to do this, but if you're printing ABS, also if you want to really monitor the temperature of your printer, it's a good idea to have a thermistor. I would normally put it over here, but then I'll have to kink some wires, and I don't want to bother right now because I'm almost done with this printer. I'm just gonna kink it right here, so it's good. So this thermistor wire will be hiding inside the wire cover. Okay, and neatly like that. Yeah, I'm just gonna put one more zip tie to keep this kind of a little bit cleaner. Just feeding through. Okay, that will fit nicely like there. You're gonna need 2 M3x12s for the wire cover. Just stick them on there for now. Like that. And we're gonna get it right over the wires. I'm gonna add one more zip tie here because I don't want it to like sort of keep it away from the stuffs. Should I add one? Yeah, maybe just pull it just a tad this way. So it won't touch the belts. That's perfect. Right there. See? And you're gonna have to route through this here. Since I don't want to undo this screw here, I'm just gonna pull this out real quick. There's just this last chain here. Just use a screwdriver. There we go. Slid out of there. And I'm gonna have to route these wires through like this anyway. So I'm gonna pull them out to the side over here. And we're gonna literally, and then I'll open these up before, and then attach it back. Go ahead and open all the chains on this one. These links, you can use a screwdriver and then just sort of twist it a little bit. They'll just pop out. Ooh, yay. Okay, once they're off, I'm gonna go ahead and make sure the wires are in, and then reattach this guy. Reattach the chain link. The chain. Oh yeah, I totally forgot, almost forgot. You're gonna need to connect the wires for your motors here also. So make sure to connect them. Oops. What was I doing? Nothing. Grab your XY motors and make sure to attach it to the bottom here. So you see that if you don't connect the motor wires, you're gonna have a problem. But this is the perfect time to do it. So this is gonna be, so it's BA. Where's that A, B? I think it's BA. So I'm just gonna label these B and A. It's gonna be one or the other. I'm just gonna write it down over here with a permanent marker. If you switch them over, it's easy. Just make sure you have at least A and B in there so you can do that. So I'm gonna go ahead and attach the B first here. You can hide the cables under this stuff. Sure, there's an elegant way to do this. Since I don't want the tape to come off, I do have this Kapton tape, which is sticky even in high temp situations. So I'm gonna just go ahead and put the tape over after I stick it under the profile. So I'm gonna just stick it under the profile and use Kapton tape, which is very high temp proof to keep it from sticking out. I think there's like a 3D printed thing you can just stick on also. I've seen it somewhere, I think. I'm sure that's something I'll do for my next printer, but for right now, I don't want to spend more time on this. Also because I had to make this video. I didn't have to, it's much quicker, but it's fine, it just took me time. Just have some Kapton tape holding up the wires. Yes, there's a quick, if you have some Kapton tape. I wouldn't use regular tape. In the high temp, it might fall off. But this is high temp stuff. It's rated for more than 3D printing stuff. I'll have to stick this back in there. Okay. Take it out. Take this chain link off real quick. Good thing I caught it now. At least I'm doing it on my 4th or 5th chain in this link thingy here. A little bit later I might have regrets. To tattoo regrets on my forehead like a mane. Regrets. Have you seen that meme? And we're gonna route this wire together along with this bunch of wires. And don't forget the other A motor or Y motor. Where's it? Y and X. One of them is X and one is Y. Motor wires are actually the most important, obviously. They're your motor wires. So you stick it in there. And route this wire through along with the other wires. Okay, they should sit like nicely like that. And I'm gonna just go ahead and bring this back up. Now I'm just going to close the last link here. And it's in there. Okay, maybe the last two. There we go. And then now I'm going to go ahead and reattach it. Snaps in place. Okay. Okay, I got the XY in there clean. These wires are hiding. And just pull the wires through nicely. And close up the links. This is actually the fun part. One of the fun parts. Now you can use an umbilical. Sorry, my English has gotten terrible after living over in Korea. Umbilical cord. Is that umbilical cord? If you want to, I heard it's actually better than chain links. You can do that too, which is just wire just hanging on. Option. But I feel like the chain links are more aesthetically pleasing, aren't they? Okay, the motor wires are a little long. Let's go ahead and undo the bottom here also, because we're gonna need to route the wires and the hole's just not big enough there. Okay, I took it off. This way it's easier to work on. And let me just route the wires as best as I can. The rest of these wires. One thing that's scary is when you're doing this, you're like, oh, what if I accidentally break one of these wires and I have to undo everything? You'll be okay. Also, twisting the wires, I'm not sure if you're supposed to twist it. That might actually prevent noise. But I think these are pretty low power, so it shouldn't matter too much, but still. I think when you're building this printer, you really got to have patience. And you really got to keep working on it. Because sometimes I get lazy here. Just work on it like 10 minutes per day, you know? Don't try to do it everything. Just do a little bit every day. And there's been like times when I was working on my first Voron, and I built the mechanical assembly, and then I didn't do the electronics for 6 months. I know you tend to procrastinate. Okay, all their wires are nicely snug in there, and you're gonna just push it through this hole, obviously, starting with these. And that's all the wiring you're gonna need to do for now. And you can set the printer sideways and work on it from the bottom for the rest of it. So we're almost there, guys. Those are in. And good thing I zip tied it. I can just push all of these guys. It's like at this point, if you're building your first Voron, you're like, okay, what if one of the wires break? And then you actually build it, connect everything, and then you load up Clipper, and then everything works perfect. Like, wow. That's the thing with 3D printers, like, oops. Okay, pull all them wires through. Snugs, not too snug. Not too tight, I mean. Have them a little snug, might be a good idea. Okay, all the wires through. And reattach the zip chain. Make sure it snaps in there. Maybe add just one zip tie down here to keep everything down here. Oops. Yeah, I'm just gonna zip tie just one here. So it sort of stays in place. I think there's some wire organizer you might want to print out if you do have an extra 3D printer. Look, it looks very, very neat. Can you see? So all of the wires you need from the Hotend routed through here, and then we added from this point we added the XY end stop. Mine uses a PCB, so it's just one wire. And this routes through here, through here. They should not be touching the belts here for free movement. Goes under here. And then you're gonna have to attach your XY or A and B and A. Route it through here, and everything goes here. And all the bottom Z motors you can attach from the bottom, so you don't have to worry about that. And also for extra, I've added a thermistor here, so I can get the temperature. You can connect it here, there. You can later connect it down here. Also, my other printer is down here, but I feel this is going to measure the temperature at this height. Also, I've added Nevermore filter. Some extras I did. Like capped on taped these wires, and they're gonna stay just fine. I think. Go ahead and check. Everything is moving correctly. The wires not. Make sure they're not too tight. Later on, that can cause it to break. But that's looking good. Then bring up the printer. All the way. And the zip chain is working perfect. Nothing's too tight. And wired up somewhat correctly. Okay, so we're gonna flip. Now we're gonna go ahead and flip. Which way? Let me just flip it this way because I don't want to kink on the wires here. Yeah, maybe we'll work on it like this. We can turn it later. Turn it on its back. And we've got the DIN rails. And we got all the wires coming out. All right, ready to go. You're gonna have to connect these four bad boys. But yeah, we'll do that in the next step here. Let's do that in the next step.